Love that drop. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Hey, yo, Nate with the hot off the launch follow. So appreciate that. Happy Monday, man. It's February 28th, and it's time to close out this month. Hopefully pretty strong. I'm Gun, twitter.com/Gundacker, joined by the three live crew. It's me, it's Josh, it's Quinn. I wish there was a better way for me to ease y'all in without completely taking over your conversation.
That's good.
But three live crew on a Monday, man. We didn't get to do it last week, All-Star break, so hopefully we can close out strong here and hunt down some profitable leans on PrizePicks today, or NBA player props wherever you shop or you skillful wager. This stream brought to you by RunDFS.com. That's the place where we don't just play DFS, we run DFS. Josh, man, you missed a heck of a Saturday. But sounds like you're free from background distractions.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go full-on neuroscientist. Do we have the pencil? I don't see the pencil. I don't feel good. Oh, there we go. Okay.
We always
I need
got
the
a pencil
to invest.
Yeah.
What's up, Josh?
Hey, what's up, fellas? No, I don't want to say I missed anything. It was a busy weekend for me so it sounded like a rough few slates this weekend, and I guess it was a time to miss it, but I'm ready to get back in it this week, full force. So
yeah, so I usually Sundays is usually my designated one day off a week, so I didn't really play yesterday, but Saturday, just coming back from the All-Star break, just to reminisce slightly, we had Fred VanVleet, Siakam both questionable all day, and I swear about an hour before the game, on night two of a back-to-back, Fred VanVleet is, quote, unlikely to play. So we start hammering Gary Trent stuff, but Siakam was in, so we start hammering Siakam, assists and stuff like that. And next thing you know, Fred VanVleet plays. Not only does he play, he starts going off. It was pretty annoying. We had a lot of fouls in the Magic Rockets game. It was just a complete poop show. And then one of the things I thought was pretty funny is somebody was heavy on DeRozan under 30.5 points that day in our circle. DeRozan got 31 and then got ejected. So it was just it was that kind of a day where we're getting reverse hooked and the old heave hose. But we leave that in the past. Mama said there'd be days like that. We got one day left to finish off February with a bang, and then we're heading into some March Madness and hopefully, knock on wood, some baseball on the other side of March. So I'm excited to kind of sink in, dial in on NBA for a strong 4 weeks here. And it starts today. We think it's a pretty solid slate. Also joined today by Rich Homie Quinn. It's a Monday special. Quinn, man, how you living?
How am I living? Okay. Well, the All-Star break came, and it was good. It was good. The All-Star break was good. Good to take a week off. But we were kind of on a nice little hot streak, leading into the All-Star break. I mean, I cleared a whole bunch of money that week. But since the All-Star break has come back, these last 4 days have not been as good. Lit some money on fire, which is never good. But I'm still ahead of the game. So, definitely still, I always keep the mindset positive. Look, we're going to have bad nights. We're not going to win every single night. We're not going to sweep every single card every single night. It is what it is, and I'm looking forward to this slate because this slate looks attackable, and I think we'll have a good night tonight.
Yeah, T-Wolves at the Cavs on the slate, Pacers at the Magic at the slate, 230 plus total on that one. Another Magic home favorites, we know how that goes. Bulls at the Heat without Kyle Lowry, potential spot to attack, a fluctuating usage. Elsewhere on the team, Raptors at the Nets, VanVleet questionable. What could go wrong there? It is a Nets home game, and for the at least for now, Kyrie Irving not going to be playing home games, so it's one of those Patty Mills, Seth Curry potential starting lineup spots. And then Hornets at the Bucks. Hornets coming in as 10-point dogs. Massive total still. We're expecting extremely fast-paced style of basketball. Hornets on a skin. We'll touch on that. Touch on that. They're on a skid. Kings at the Thunder on the slate. Thunder are going to offer us SGA without Lou Dort and Josh Giddey. So all of the usage against what's fastly becoming one of the worst defenses, probably I think right now second worst defense, but potentially got potential to go to first worst defense. And then Spurs and the Grizzlies, and the Spurs have been part of some high scoring affairs themselves. So I brushed on it on Saturday, man. I remember the beginning of the season, there was so much hoopla around the new foul rules, and we were going to see lower scoring games. And for a bit, we saw that. But now it seems like every time I open up the slate, there's several 230 totals, and that kind of eases our path to what we're targeting here. So let's get cranked up here, and I think we're going to have enough time to go game by game to an extent. I do want to shout out the live chat. Shout out to you guys out there, Mia Moore, Ariel, Chris Smith, Nate J, C-Wiz, Thomas in the chat here. Shout out to you guys. So let's go game to game, and then let's switch over back and forth between the Prize Picks board and what we're looking at. Timberwolves at the Cavs. We got 218.5 total. Looks like a full strength T-Wolves team with D. Russ, Anthony Edwards, and Cat all in the mix here. Typically, when this team is full strength, or really when any team is full strength, you're not going to get any discrepancies in terms of pricing or prop lines. So I probably can't imagine this is going to be a hot spot for us to target. We're up against a Cavs team that is without I would say a true point guard, but one that has some name value. No Darius Garland, no Karis LeVert, no Rajon Rondo, and of course no Colin Sexton. They picked up Tim Frazier on a 10-day contract, and have been leaning on Brandon Goodwin and Jetty Osman to fill in the gap in between. So I don't expect this to be a big game for us. But Josh, I'll start with you. Did you have any interest in T-Wolves Cavs, or is this a write-off?
It's a write-off for me.
All right, Quinn.
Probably not. If there was any side that I'd play in this game, it'd be the Cleveland side, since Minnesota plays a really fast pace, and maybe you can find something there. But I think that there are better places to attack.
Yeah, I would say Jared Allen, I do have him projected for over 40 fantasy points on PrizePicks, 43 right now, and the line for him is at 35. So if I wanted some early action, that's probably something I lean on. And you mentioned the increase in pace, the increase in potential possessions, which is the increase in rebound potential, which is right up Jared Allen's alley here. And the other one is Lauri Markkanen. I was on him on the Saturday slate. He has been somebody that has done quite well since he's coming back. 30-plus fantasy points is probably the expectation here. I have him for 31. They priced him at 27. Maybe they're starting to get a little bit closer to what I expect. But 18 shot attempts, 16 shot attempts in his 2 games back with enough peripherals to feel okay about. 20-plus real points in both of those games. And we talked about that's not on exquisite shooting, right? 6 for 18, that's 30%. The free throw line is something to be something to be noteworthy of. And Josh, I think we've uncovered T-Wolves will send you to the free throw line, right?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, I forgot to mention this. This is on the fringe list for us with Markkanen's points, because the T-Wolves do give up the most points to small forwards, and like you said, his usage is up with Garland out, so...
Yeah, 15.5 points right now is his line. This is something he's cleared 3 of his last 4. And then the last 2 games, the constant being no Garland, and now a plus matchup. Yeah, I think Markkanen 15.5 points is something I'm a little bit interested in. 23.5 PRA also an intriguing number. He does get you about a block per game if you wanted a +3 and maybe throw a blanket on the fantasy points, but he typically can offset that with a turnover. So I think the PRA or the real points is something I'd be looking at. I'm not really running too much else here, but I would jot down Markkanen and pencil, kind of keep that in the mix as a candidate going forward, right? What up, C-Wiz? People are on Lowry points. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Chris says everyone in Discord is on him, and Sabonis. I like that one too. Speaking of Discord, it is Monday. I said I would launch a free Discord. So maybe I should launch this Discord. So Chad, if you're out there, I'll get this invite button going. This is not the Run DFS Discord. It's gonna be a free Discord, separate for the YouTube community. So if you guys want to get in on that, hit that up. I'm gonna be looking for some mods. So if you guys have some Discord and sports and good vibes, let me know and I might mod you. I have to make a roll for like the first, I don't know, 100 members or something like that. What up, Craig, the homie Kagan chat? Jermaine. What's up, Jermaine? All right, next game on the docket, Magic hosting the Pacers, 232.5 total, 1.5 point spread in favor of the Orlando Magic. Magic are going to be with Markelle Fultz now. I'm sure they're just going to slowly ease him back into the mix. But this is another occasion where I thought the other night it was going to be very, very rare for us to have the Magic as a home as a favorite, much less home favorite. I'm gonna track points. But here they are, a slight home favorite against the Pacers, and the Pacers put a little respect on their name, taking it to the Celtics. Celtics have been just elite defensively as of late, so the Pacers are able to find some cracks in their armor, and maybe we find some ways to attack this game. Feels like the Pacers are going to give us the more concrete opportunity here, but defensively, if we refer to that team metrics chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, Orlando Magic bottom 8 in defensive efficiency. Indiana bottom 6 in defensive efficiency. So we're not expecting a whole heck of a lot of defense here, which creates an opportunity to kind of sink our teeth into the guys that are projected for the most minutes. Tyrese Halliburton, I believe, is probably the most intriguing name here. I was a little bit skittish on how he would coexist with Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon has been back for 2 games now, but that really hasn't hindered Halliburton's production in back-to-back games, 9, 11, and then, of course, the game prior, 14 assists. So assist percentage remains high, and his scoring is pretty decent as well. Maybe extra efficient, shooting 60+%. Maybe that's, maybe the efficiency comes down a little bit, so we don't bank on 20 fantasy points or 20 real points a game. Fantasy wise, I'm getting him at a projection of 43. If we reference that to the PrizePicks board, the line for Halliburton here is 41. So I think that's a very appropriate projection here, probably too close for comfort for me to get behind. The assist line, however, is something I can get behind, this is a back-to-back for Brogdon. There's nothing out there saying he wouldn't go, but the matchup is so bad that I do think if you're going to get 35, 36-plus minutes of Halliburton with his extremely high assist rate, I could get behind an 8.5%, 8.5 assist line. Josh, sounds like you might agree with that.
Yeah, that was the one I was looking at for him. Because they opened his fantasy score, I believe, at 39.5 or 40, and it's going up right now. It's at 41. I think people are just jamming that in. So probably will continue to go up if people are clicking on it still. So yeah, 8.5 assists I like the most probably.
All right, I'm digging that. Do you have any other leans on this game, or maybe on the Pacer side as well? Buddy Hield has also been kind of I don't want to say a revelation for them, but he's contributed some pretty solid games for him. 17.5 real points is his line. And we look at this implied total of 232. Hey, we're giving them 115, 117 real points. Buddy Hield's shot volume and his production have been something that I think in line with this total, with this implied total. 20-plus real points might be there for the taking for him against one of the worst defenses in basketball. Shot volume 15, 21, 12 double-digit shot attempts, and then what is probably most reassuring to me is the minutes have stayed high, 38-plus minutes, 37-plus minutes in 4 or 5 games straight, with and without Brogdon. So if he's going to be a guy that launches from behind the arc, and maybe more so than we're used to, give us some peripherals. What are you thinking about some Buddy Hield action? I got him at 35 fantasy points. Feels a little bit low based on his recent production. Bucks, and they got him at 33.5, so it's pretty on par with what I got him at. But could you get behind somebody Hill? Maybe PRA is an interesting line. If we get 17 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists, this is a line he is just blown out of the water more than he hasn't. What about Buddy Hield PRA? Could you get behind that?
No, I could definitely get behind it.
Yeah. I mean, what we were talking about earlier, the one concern is you always have to worry about, are the Magic going to put up points to keep up with the team, right? So you just got to hope the game stays close. What's the spread on it right now?
1.5, Magic favored. I'm telling you, it's setting us up for and that's what that Rockets game was, and Rockets are notably bad. The I think the offensive efficiency for the Pacers, I know that front court is a carousel of what the heck is going on. But Brogdon, Halliburton, Buddy Hield, man, those dogs will hunt against a bottom 6 defense. So I don't have a lot of doubt in them. So also got a Q tag on Lance Stevenson. Quinn, you got anything standing out here? And do you have any inclination on what to do with the Magic? Time after time, we see the Magic in great spots, by hook or by crook, foul trouble, what have you. Bad stuff happens to good people grabbing overs and unders. There's a lot of names that feel good in this Indiana front court, man. They're bleeding points in the paint. And you would like to believe in Wendell Carter, Mo Bamba, and Wendell Carter's probably the guy I get to more often than anybody. But do you have any leans on this game, and then potentially on the Magic side?
Well, back with the Pacers, I also want to shout out O'Shea Brissett. His PRA is at like 21.5. He's cruised past that, the last couple of games. I think 4 out of the last 5. And I mean, I could take really anybody against the Magic. If he's going to get his minutes, I mean, he's going to get there either by just scoring a lot of points or getting double-digit rebounds. It seems like either one or the other is going to hit, and sometimes both. So I'm also going to, I don't know if it's going to be like one of my main 5 plays, but I'm going to have some exposure to over the 21.5 TRA on O'Shea Brissett. Now with the Magic, 117-point total. And we've seen this before, as you alluded to. We've seen the Magic, be home favorites, have these big totals, and then, they wind up scoring 90, 95 points, and they let us down. But, I mean, if we're to believe in Vegas, I mean, pretty much, all these guys, whether it's Franz Wagner or Wendell Carter, Cole Anthony, whatever, all their fantasy props, they just, like, if you just want to do either PRA or fantasy points, they're all, attackable. So I'm just going to, I'm not saying I'm going to play, all of them. I might just play like, a card with just this game because, the numbers are so low. I don't know if any of them will make my main 5 because there's no telling who's going to go off. I don't see really a lean to one position to attack. And also it's kind of like a new Pacers team, so it's hard to really trust any season-long metrics. They got, 3 new starters in the mix. So, I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach as far as anyone on the Magic being a main play, but I do think that just based on the Vegas total and their props that they're all in play from a PRA and a fantasy points perspective.
Wendell Carter is usually the guy I feel like gives me the safest feeling.
That I agree with, absolutely.
So my projection isn't much higher than theirs. They're pretty in line with my stuff here. I think Halliburton assists and maybe Buddy Hield PRA is what I'm gonna run away with. So let's write that down. Halliburton assist and Hield PRA. Josh, anything else?
Could you? I'm with you on the O'Shea Brissett. He did to OKC what Ayton should have done, right?
Yeah.
But what about Isaiah Jackson, 10.5 points?
So what's this front court looking like? I know Lance has a Q tag on him. Is Goga completely pushed out?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I think he's just a backup center.
And then Jalen Smith's in the. They have so many bigs. It's so annoying.
23
minutes the last couple games, 4 fouls against Boston. Boston a little bit tougher matchup. Man, I think Isaiah Jackson's where I draw the line, bro. We got 3 Pacers on the list already.
I got you.
Might get to him in DFS. If you guys want to talk Isaiah Jackson's DFS viability, remember to stick around the next hour, or really next 2 hours following this one. We're doing the full DFS breakdown, so check that out. Let's move on to the Bulls and the Heat. Unstoppable force, immovable object. Heat, slow-paced, okay defense. However, today, Kyle Lowry, not in the mix here, so let's use this as an opportunity to go flex the on-off court tool, the NBA Wowie, and let's run Butler Adebayo on the court and take off Kyle Lowry. I assume we're going to get an increase in Butler assist rate, and then, of course, we would maybe open the door for Mr. Tyler Hero to enter some of our DFS lineups. I don't know if they're going to enter some of our cards, but on the season, Jimmy Butler, Adebayo on the court, Lowry off the court. We got 32% assist rate on Jimmy G. Looking at the PrizePicks board for the Miami Heat today, Jimmy Butler's listed at 6.5 assists, and maybe to cross-reference this, we'll use StatMuse. Jimmy Butler.
It's gone up recently.
Has it gone up by?
Yeah.
Without Kyle Lowry let's go last 10 games. So 6.5 is the number we're looking to beat. What was it at earlier? 5.5?
It was at 6, so you could have pushed if you got there, you know.
Okay. Well, he has fallen short of 6.5 in 3 of his last 10 games. Just 3 of his last 10 games without Kyle Lowry. In a couple of those games that he did fall short, 29 minutes against the Knicks. We'll open that up, see if there's context behind that. 15 minutes against Portland Trailblazers. I imagine either that's one of those ejection games or injury games. And then 35 minutes against the Magic the day after Christmas. So let's go. The 15 minutes against the Blazers we can write off. Was that the weird game where Lowry got like ejected by handing the ball to the or rolling the ball to the ref maybe? And then against the Knicks here, 110-96. We got Miami just 29 minutes of them. I guess it was a little bit more lopsided. So what's the date on that? We'll go check the rotation here. Essentially, we don't expect 29 minutes of Jimmy Butler, right? So if you are going to anticipate Jimmy Butler to play his usual 35-plus minutes here, 4.5 point spread against a Bulls team that's been pretty competitive day to day, I think we can lean on Butler's numbers here. And even 6.5 is probably too low, especially looking at his body of work where it's usually 8+ in competitive games. So I think over 6 is easily my favorite starting point for this game. So we'll go Butler assist. And then Adebayo, looking at his numbers here, he has a 25% usage rate in this split, 1.2 fantasy point per minute. I've got him projected at almost 50 fantasy points for PrizePicks scoring. They have him listed at 43, so I'm getting nearly a 7-point gap. I can swing that, and we've seen centers going bananas on this Bulls front court. Steven Adams just had 77 rebounds, I believe it was. Don't quote me, but he went crazy. Vucevic does have a Q tag on him. I don't know what the how close he is to being in or out. Says, he's probable. Okay, so and Adebayo's fantasy line is something I think I can get behind. Josh, talk to me about the Heat here, and then lead me to anything on the Bulls. It's DeRozan is 1 game away from tying Michael Jordan. Let's talk about that. Jimmy Butler, former Bulls great.
Yeah, so much narrative in this game, right? I mean, it's they're fighting for first place in the East. If the Bulls win, they'll take it back from the Heat. You know, like the Bulls been getting a lot of like crap from the media and just a lot of general public and fans saying like they're kind of like an inflated, overrated first place team when they were first place, but I would say the Heat are more so. I mean, the Heat are, I feel like, held together by Spoelstra's like great coaching. He's like the Bill Belichick of NBA. I feel like he can take any team and make them a great defense and great unit. So I don't know. I feel like the Bulls, they got a lot to prove. I like the DeRozan narrative, like you said. I feel like you can't. He's so close now to Michael Jordan, such a like historical, like just like record to hold. Right? If you can pass Michael Jordan and at his in his own team's most consecutive points, 30 points, that'd be crazy. So keep riding that DeRozan train. But yeah, for the Heat, so Bam went up 1 fantasy point. He was at 42.5, and now he's at 43.5, but still like it. He's going to be involved. He should fill the stat line too. He should get involved with the assist games as well. But yeah, Jimmy's 6.5 assists was probably my favorite going into looking into this to this matchup. And yeah, I mean, you could always roll the dice with some PJ Tucker, but that's never fun.
Quinn, what do you got?
Well, Jimmy Butler assist. That's one we always like to look at when Kyle Lowry is out. Sam's rebounds are at 10. We saw, Steven Adams go nuts with the rebounds. We've seen, teams just, be able to grab a lot of boards against the Bulls for whatever reason. So that's another one that interests me as well. And like Josh said, the DeRozan train. I mean, I might as well ride it till the wheels fall off. So I think his prop was at 29.5. He's gonna get that 30. So I might as well just get paid when he gets his 30.
Yeah.
Last 5 starting centers against the Chicago Bulls for rebounds. Steven Adams, 21. Clint Capella, 17. Sabonis, 12. Jakob Poeltl, 9 in 31 minutes. Isaiah Roby got 4 in 25 minutes. So these above-average centers with high defensive or high rebounding rates are definitely getting their rebounds worth against this Bulls front court. So I'm with you on that one. I don't think I'm playing PJ Tucker, but... I'm fine. I think I'm definitely getting behind a lot of Adebayo and Butler.
Yeah.
Lines here. There's no Vincent or Hero stuff to sweat.
Yeah.
I hate I hate betting such high lines on players. So when guys like DeRozan get to 30, even though it's just like game log wise, it feels free because he just crushes this number so often.
Right.
And we have so much emphasis on this narrative where he's one game away from Jordan. It's just like I don't put myself in those situations to. Not only is that a tough task in a 1-to-1, but you throw it basically in a parlay style approach here. I can't really get behind that with a high level of confidence. And he's the mid-range king, and the Miami Heat pretty good at defending the mid-range, where they leak is the long range. They allow a lot of things.
Yeah, he's taking threes now lately, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, so I probably don't get to anything on the Bulls side for me personally, but I do like taking advantage of Butler and Adebayo here. Chat, what do you guys got on this one? Jermaine says Jimmy assists. Sportsbook has Jimmy at 7.5 assists. So yeah, I guess if you like the Jimmy assist line, maybe get on it now. It'll probably continue to go up if people keep slamming that. Jimmy has a lingering shoulder injury as well. Fade Jimmy, I think that's the trap of the day. Come on, Chris. Is it because of the shoulder injury? I don't know. Jimmy minutes is Jimmy minutes. Would you take 7.5 assists? So 7.5, I think, is much more appropriately priced. Like I said, we look at that recent body of work. 8 is the starting point in competitive games. We can put asterisks next to a few of these down games. Just 29 minutes against the Knicks. I guess an injury in 15 minutes against Portland, and then I don't know what happened against that Magic game. So 7.5 is probably the most appropriate line. I would understand if the line was 8 plus. But yes, I do think he clears 7.5. So 6.5 is something I definitely want to invest in while I can. Neville says, please don't say the Heat are overrated again. We got dogs down here. Who said that?
I didn't say that. I said that. I was saying the Bulls are equally talented.
Yeah, I think
just as much talent.
I think both teams are underrated from public perception.
Sure.
To be honest,
Yeah.
man. Heat have been without. I want to say they've been full strength for a couple weeks now, but mostly on the season they've always had some guy out. Whether it be Butler, Adebayo, Lowry, and they just been getting it done. And then the Chicago
Same with
Bulls,
the Bulls, right?
Yeah, Bulls have been flirting with first place all year.
Caruso and Lonzo, once they come back, I mean that's going to be a.
We just got we just got Brogdon out. I think is what chat's saying.
Yeah, Brogdon's out, Stevenson doubtful, Duarte probable, I think, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's probably they're probably gonna pull the Pacers and reprice them. I already thought the prices were kind of stiff, but we're looking for Halliburton assists. We'll see how much that moves. Hill PRA feels safer now, and I also think their real points seem stronger. It also saves us from the FanDuel nightmare that was going to be Brogdon's ownership. Because my goodness,
Yeah,
was he cheap.
right,
And then
right.
Brissett PRA without Stevenson's good stuff. Dorothy probably. All right, good stuff, chat. Appreciate you calling that out. By the way, some of you guys newer, we did it earlier, but I am we're launching a new Discord for the YouTube community. So this is a free Discord. It's not the RunDFS.com one. We're going to keep adding to it. But if you guys want to be in that, join the community, get it going. I'll be looking to throw some mod tags on a couple of you guys that are trusted names in the community, man. Just let me know. That D is sick. Gun DeRozan ain't shaking nothing today. Okay. I'm done doubting DeRozan, man. Like, I'm just done doubting DeRozan. He just gets it done.
Yeah.
Maybe Butler, maybe MJ called Butler and said lock in, but can't do it. Is the half a three-pointer a trap for on DeRozan, says Chris. Oh, I didn't see that line, but...
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, it's, hey, 50-50 shot. Maybe he makes one, maybe he doesn't. But he's taking but like Josh said earlier, he has taken a few more shots from the perimeter than he has been, like, throughout the season. So then, I mean, maybe it's a shout if he takes 3 or 4 3-pointers. I mean, can you hit one? Can you hit
Trying
one?
to stat pad, right?
Miami's allowing the 4th most threes per game. So good
It
little
is.
stat for a guy that's going to lead the team in shot attempts, right? What up, Mock Wall? Hate when I have a great card built and hit enter in the prop change. That's the worst. That's the worst.
Hey, Pacer props are still up there if you want to enter them.
They are? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get on that now, then. I guess
I just entered a card, so.
Pacers. Yep, still up here. So if anything, those lines get bolstered. I don't think we had Brogdon as doubtful earlier. I guess it wouldn't have shocked me. If he
No,
was.
but they didn't have Brogdon up anyway, so maybe they kind of already had the lines so pretty much where they wanted him to be.
Makes sense.
I don't think they're gonna go stupid higher than what they are.
Fear Money says, I thought it was the Run DFS Discord I was ready to pay. Now, the Run DFS is still behind the paywall at RunDFS.com. That Discord is for free. Just keep the vibes right, and we'll keep it going, man. Nets hosting the Raptors. Next game on the docket, so we're dealing with Fred VanVleet as questionable. Like we said on Saturday, he was unlikely to play an hour before tip with Siakam having a Q tag, and both those guys ended up going. The Nets... with Kyrie Irving go 12 rounds with the Bucks and steal some shine. Maybe the Nets won the Harden trade. I know. 217 total on this one, 4-point spread. This game will be without Kyrie, so we have a couple games to sample size of the Nets without Kyrie with Seth Curry. And I don't quite know what to expect. Andre Drummond still hasn't been giving us big minutes, but per minutes he's certainly producing. I expect him to be somewhere between 22 and 26 minutes as my projection. He got 29 against Milwaukee, double-digit rebounds. We've seen him eclipse 40 fantasy points a couple of times, so I do think he's going to be live for some DFS exposure, but maybe not so much for PrizePicks cards. And then if we go use that on-off court tool, we'll go pull up the Brooklyn Nets, and I guess we'll just put Mills and Seth Curry on the court together, and I guess Cam Thomas, but I think they kind of stagger those three, and I'm going to make sure that we have no Kyrie on the court and just kind of see the general numbers we're working with. There was a couple games where Mills was having some bad shooting nights and Curry took over, and then vice versa. So we got 94 minutes of these guys together, and we've got a 26% usage rate essentially on both Seth and Patty Mills. Both guys at a 20% assist rate, and then both guys shooting at 40. This is almost the same line. These are the same people. They 40+% shots via the 3 ball. So I guess if I'm looking to target some Nets lines, I'd be maybe looking for Patty Mills and Seth Curry stuff. But I just don't have the warm and fuzzies any which way you slice it. I think both these guys have low real point props. 16.5 for Seth Curry is something he's cleared more than he hasn't with his new team, Brooklyn, and 12.5 for Patty Mills without Kyrie is a little bit intriguing, and I'm sure those one real point in back when's the last time that's been done? One real point in back-to-back games? Is that real? That's crazy. Seth Curry real points is probably it. Maybe 2.5 threes for Seth here. Quinn, yeah. Okay. Josh, what do you got on this game?
I mean, Yeah, I don't. With all the good spots today, there's so many good spots, right? Like, I just feel like this is you don't have to force these fringe plays, and it's
Right.
just too risky. I mean, even like Bruce Brown, like playing 30 plus minutes, 10.5 points. If this was a smaller slate and not so many good spots, maybe. Or if he can hit 1 3, he's at 0.5 3 points made. I mean, yeah, it's all fringe and too risky for me.
Same. Quinn, you like anything on the Raptor side?
Um, I'm I'm probably not going there. Again, we don't know Fred VanVleet's situation. I think this game has like the lowest total on the board. I
Hmm.
mean, there are enough things for me to make me want to just attack some of these better spots. So I'm out on this one.
Yeah, and they play again tomorrow. The same two teams, so
All right. Is it in Toronto?
it's in Toronto. So I assume Kyrie's gonna play, and then KD is still undetermined for that.
Yep. Hornets at the Bucks. 238.5 total, 10.5 point spread. Hornets have been on a skid lately. We talked about how they've been losing quite a bit. The Bucks are one of the stronger offenses, good, solid defense. Both teams are very familiar with running fast pace. Josh, they're also full strength for the most part. No Gordon Hayward for the Hornets here. They've added Montrezl Harrell. We talked about how Montrezl Harrell was the ultimate Hornets player. Fast-paced, good offense, no defense, and this no defense is catching up to the Hornets when their offense doesn't show up. They need to be firing on all cylinders to compete with the defending world champs. 10.5 point spread's kind of a dangerous line to get over invested in the Hornets. But where do you start on this game, Josh? For anything, I know Quinn was saying he's looking for what Giannis prop he wants, so we're gonna want something here. That one of the highest totals, and I got a big fat
Yeah.
projection on Giannis here. But what are you thinking is a good starting point?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if we're gonna start on the Hornets side, if we're in the assumption that this can stay closer than a 10 plus spread, which I mean this series has. So this is the fourth game. We were talking about this earlier. This is the fourth game of the series. The Hornets lead at 2-1, and most of the games have been less than 5 point spreads. So yeah, if Hornets can just get out of this funk and keep this game close. Terry Rozier is always in play because of the outside shoot defense of the Bucks.
Hmm.
He should get his. They don't have a 3 point prop, but you can get on his real life points at 19.5. He's gonna chuck it from the outside. He's gonna put up a lot of threes. And then, yeah, I mean, they got LaMelo down to 40 fantasy points. I think they had him it opened at like 41.5 or 42. I guess people are clicking under with this spread. Um, you could get on his assists too, because the Bucks, he should spread the ball out to the perimeter and get some outside shots from Oubre and Rozier, like I said, from the 3 point line. And then yeah, the Bucks side, I'm with Quinn. Anything Giannis sounds good in this matchup, right? And Bobby Portis too, because of if the Hornets continue to run this starting lineup with PJ Washington at the 5, they've been just getting crushed on the glass and giving up points in the paint. So Bobby could have a big game. So you could even get on Bobby's fantasy score or his rebound prop.
It's in. Has PJ been at the 5, or he's just been starting at the 4 with Bridges at the 3?
I think he's been at the 4 with Plumlee at center. But
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
sorry,
right.
he starts at the 4, but then he does play at the 5.
he does
for
play a
some
lot of the
reason.
backup 5 too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Plumlee got just 19 minutes last game.
Yeah.
A little bit of foul trouble. We saw more Montrezl Harrell involvement. And then, yeah, PJ Washington playing decent minutes. Got 32, but that's with overtime. So it does look like that front court's got a little volatility to it. But yeah, I think your big man offense is what you got to sell out for here. And if Plumlee can be a little foul centric at times, and he's going to cross over with some of these stretch long length dudes like Portis and Giannis, I do worry about Plumlee's shelf life in this game. And then, of course, Bobby Portis coming off just an incredible performance where he was Bobby Curry, man. He hit how many threes? 8 of 14? Nuts. Quinn, where do we start on the Bucks? You said you wanted to find a Giannis line to get invested in.
Well, with Giannis's 58 fantasy point prop being so high, I mean, I could look at the rebounds there at 11.5. know, Charlotte is they're I think they're bottom five to both the power forward and the center position as far as, giving up, fantasy production, which, kind of encompasses everything. So I mean, maybe it's the rebounds that possibly the PRA. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a Giannis prop. And also like you alluded to Bobby Portis. I think his fantasy points they were in like the low 30s, and I think that's something that I could also get behind.
Yeah, somebody just got pulled off in front of my face. Unless they added a line, that might have been what they did. All right, Bobby Portis. Do they have a 3-point prop on Bobby Portis? No. Sometimes it's at like 1.5, 2.5. I guess after
I
the
don't have
last
it
game,
today.
they're not going to do that. All right, any big numbers I got? I got Drew Holiday at 45 fantasy points, Middleton at 44, Giannis at 63, and Bobby Portis at 37. Looking at their lines on fantasy points, they got a little bit of gap between mine and theirs. I have more Portis than they do for sure. I got 33 on Portis. They got 33 on Portis. I got 37, so it's a little bit of a +4. And then you mentioned the Charlotte Hornets. If they are going to find a way to keep that game close, Terry Rozier has been probably the best staple for them as long-range shooting. Sometimes Kelly Oubre will pop off, but 20-plus shot attempts for Terry Rozier is a very real outcome here. In 3 games against the Bucks, he's been shooting 40% from 3, 11 of 27, averaging over 20 real points per game against the Bucks this season. So as we continue this stretch for the Hornets without Gordon Hayward, maybe Rozier's the guy we look to keep this game close. They have a 19.5 real points. No tertiary props in terms of like 3.5 or 3-pointers made, stuff like that. They also have 36 fantasy points, and he's been clearing 40 fantasy points. I don't want to say consistently, but at a decent clip that if you paint this game to stay competitive, it seems like 37 is a line he can get to. But I think I'd rather target real points with Terry Rozier if I wanted to get there.
Yeah, and that's a good call on Rozier because we know the Bucks like to give up a lot of the shots from the perimeter.
Yeah.
But it does play into his strength, so it makes sense that he's been popping off against them this year.
Yeah. He's been successful against them for sure.
C-Wiz says, Drummond I like a lot. Look what centers have been doing to the Raptors. Wiz, I don't hate the thought of Drummond himself. I hate the volatility in his minutes projection. And we've seen, and maybe there's a stronger correlation here without Kyrie. Kyrie can handle some load scoring. You think about without Kyrie, they might need LaMarcus Aldridge's offense a little bit more. But I'm fine with the thought of Drummond. I personally can't call his minutes. 22, 28, what are we going to get for him? So I think if I'm getting to Andre Drummond exposure, it's probably going to be from the DFS side today, maybe not so much in a parlay setting. Chat, if you guys are out there, just do me one big solid. Hit that thumbs up. Like I said, we're launching this Discord today. You guys want to get on that, talk some PrizePicks plays. We'll pop our head in there. I'll try and be as active as possible. Still running the premium Discord. And if you guys want in that one, go to rundfs.com. Check out the VIP memberships on the board. And then if you do upgrade, click over to the VIP portal. You're going to get a link to this spreadsheet, my projections, my player pool for DFS, but also the prop detector. We're tracking our favorite props. And then, of course, we got the rundfs.com VIP Discord that also has a little bit more hands-on involvement from me, and then the pre-lock voice chat for 2 hours before the first game tips off every day before lock. I'm in there with plenty of you guys chopping shop. So be part of that. Next game on the docket, Sacramento Kings and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder seem like a real fun team to attack right now because we are extremely depleted. Look at this laundry list of guys missing this one, namely Lou Dort and Josh Giddey, and we know and we can assume that SGA's usage and everything in between is going to be at 8 billion% without Dort and Giddey. Giddey representing 5+ rebounds, assists, and points. And Dort had double-digit shot attempts in his per game averages too. So let's go use that NBA Wowie tool. I'm not going to take off like the Muscalas and the JREs. I'm just going to put SGA on the court, Lou Dort and Giddey off the court. We're going to get a 38% usage rate on SGA with a 32.7% assist rate, almost 1.5 fantasy points per minute, 200 plus minutes of sample size. Heading into Oklahoma is the Sacramento Kings, and while it looks like they've found a little bit of magic offensively with Fox and Sabonis building some more chemistry and more rapport, Sacramento is second to just the Houston Rockets right now in defensive efficiency. And that's good news for the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have the worst offensive efficiency in all of basketball. So I guess this game comes down to, one, is there any way the Sacramento Kings blow out a team? And if there is a team, is it going to be the Thunder? If not, the Thunder are going to keep this game close on the back of SGA, who's probably going to have a huge day in terms of volume of opportunity, 20-plus shot attempts, potentially up to 30 shot attempts here, and then, of course, his assist rate being what it is. So we'll look at the PrizePicks board on him. And I think behind him, I'm also kind of privy to Darius Baisley and Trey. Is it Trey Man? Yeah, Trey Man.
Yeah.
As a supplementary play. We got SGA's fantasy line at 45 on PrizePicks. That's about 7 lower than my projection right now. Again, Kings being as bad as they are. So I don't mind looking at that line to just throw a net over everything. They have its real point prop at 27.5. God, that's like DeRozan levels, right? Like that's up there. That's just nuts. And then looking past him, Trey Man is at 15.5 real point prop with a 26 fantasy point projection prop. I got Trey Man at almost 30. And then Darius Baisley, why can't I quit you? I've been playing this dude, but sometimes it burns me, sometimes it doesn't. I got him at 34 fantasy points. They got him at 28. I think SGA seems like the guy I want to target. Josh, what stands out for you on the Thunder, and then talk to me about the Kings.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, if you think this game, if the Thunder can keep it close, and you think this game stays close, and you're gonna lock in Sabonis, which I'm sure is gonna be a very popular play today. People are gonna go to his game log and see that he's had in both games against the Thunder recently, he's had 67 fantasy points. So if you're gonna lock in Sabonis, it makes sense to play SGA on the other side, or at least Trey Man, because those two are gonna just carry the offensive load, and they're gonna be the guys that keep it close, right? So I like both the real life points if you're gonna play Sabonis and do a little mini game stack with this. So, and the Kings. Yeah, so I like Sabonis real life points in fantasy, and then the big debate is like, do you want to get on some Fox? Dort's out, so it reduces the perimeter defense of the Thunder, or do you think this is just a Sabonis show and you can just jump on Fox's assist prop at 5.5 because the Thunder over the last 30 games are giving up, I believe, the third most assists. Oh no! Over the entire season, they're giving up the most assists to point guards. So yeah,
I mean that's tough to say. I will say, I kind of dogged on Fox and his ability to rack up assists on Saturday, and then he was like, "You know what, Gun, I got you," and he went out there and dropped 10 of them.
Sure did.
But I still think long term, I expect Fox to be more of a scoring first guy. So if I want to target anything, I might be looking at his scoring propensity. Thunder have been the third worst team against centers on the season, the bottom 6 against power forwards. So you get some big man minutes for revenge game Domantas Sabonis back in OKC. Big spot for him, almost irregardless of who starts at center. Derek Favors probably starts, but you also might see big minutes from Isaiah Roby, maybe some Pokusevski, somebody like that. So I'm with you. I think SGA and Sabonis are the two most alluring pieces of this game. I think Fox's real points is priced appropriately. But Sabonis is the guy at 46 fantasy points, especially on the PrizePicks scoring system. I got him at 54. That's almost we're pushing 10 points. It
opened at 45.
Gap. Yeah. So I think there's some meat on the bone on Sabonis fantasy points. So I'd probably add that one to the list.
Yeah.
Quinn, what's the most comfortable SGA line to target, do you think?
I'm thinking PRA. There are games where the assist can spike up because I mean he's essentially running the point guard position. So even though I also believe it or not I do like the points. De'Aaron Fox is nobody to be worried about as far as defense and Shea's gonna get all the shots that he wants. So I mean it wouldn't surprise me at all if he scores 30 plus points tonight.
Yeah.
But when I do choose one, I'm probably going to take the PRA because those assists can spike up and it can maybe make up for if he only scores like 22, 24 points or something like that.
All right, last game on the docket. We'll try and keep this a little bit quick. Those of you looking for the DFS show, give me a couple minutes. It might be a couple minutes late. It'll be all right. I got you. Spurs and the Grizzlies, 237.5 total. This is almost a turbo slate, right? This game tips off at 8. No West Coast, no Lakers. Treacherous, horrendous basketball. Spurs have been part of some shootouts, and so have the Grizzlies. So I think there's going to be a lot to like from a real life standpoint here, from a DFS standpoint, but from a prize pick standpoint, there's not much in lieu of like this guy's out, so this guy should thrive. I think DeJounte Murray's had plenty of games without Derek White to know that he's going to do a whole lot and might be priced at 50, 60 fantasy points. Ja Morant without Dylan Brooks, his usage rate's been sky high. Josh, did you have a starting point on this game, or is the Lions priced too good?
I mean, I think the price lines are fair and they're pretty spot on. But I mean, the game is just it's too tempting, right? Like you got Ja and DeJounte going at it head to head, and it should just be a track meet, fast paced, back and forth matchup. So I mean, I want to hone in on one of their props and at least get exposure to each of their props. And I just really like the matchup.
So which one?
I'm gonna go real life points for Ja. Because what do you have projected for fantasy right now? You haven't projected for
on Ja. I got 55.
Yeah. So, oh man, I'm gonna go real life points, maybe, or fantasy. I can't decide right now. It's hard to put me on the spot with that. And then DeJounte, I'm gonna go fantasy with him. I believe you got him at 55.
Yeah. I got a
So maybe I'll just go fantasy for both and just hope it's just like it's back and forth between each other. So, what do you think, Quinn?
The DeJounte assists are interesting to me. Like anytime I see him down like below 10 assists,
Right?
He's at 9.5. So I mean, you're betting on him getting double digits assists, and I'll take my chances there. And Ja Morant, it's either gonna be the real points or the fantasy points. But like with Gunn having such a high projection on him, it makes me feel more comfortable doing the fantasy points. And also Ja Morant, he's at 6 free throws. We haven't talked about any free throw props, but he's been getting to the line a lot, and I think that's another possibility that we can look at there is those free throws.
Yeah. He likes to drive to the rack and get a lot of his points in the paint. The Spurs give up a lot of points in the paint, 50.7 per game to be exact. And then before we get out of here, Steven Adams.
Oh, he's like the game log chaser's dream, right? Like you click on his cards and it's just like green, green, green. It just wants you to click it.
Yeah, so Brandon Clark does have a Q tag on him today, right? So if Clark can't go, maybe squeeze a couple extra minutes for him. Questionable due to a left eye abrasion. So he represents 20 plus minutes of game time you have to fill. And then if we look at that team DVP chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, so San Antonio Spurs allow the 4th most fantasy points per game. So do with that as you may. I might reserve him for DFS, but it is not a bad spot for him today. My baseline projection on Adams here was 37, so I'm getting a +6 gap versus the projection versus what they have. So just I'm gonna put it out there, chat. You guys let me know.
12 and a half rebounds.
Assists will be popular. His 3.5 assists will definitely be popular.
All right. So I got jotted down Laurie Marketing real points, Halliburton assist, Buddy Hield PRA, O'Shea Brissett PRA, Jimmy Butler assists, Adebayo fantasy points, Seth Curry points question mark, Sabonis fantasy points. And I think we need some more clarity in the Discord on what we're gonna target for like DeJounte, Ja, and Giannis. But that's what I got from our conversation here. So
Yeah, I got that all in the detector, so we're good.
all right, chat. If you guys want to see the final version of that, it's going to continue to grow, evolve as we get closer to lock and tip. Go to rundfs.com, get yourself signed up for that. Closing statements, Quinn. You got anything for the people until they see you again in 7 days?
Hey, just be responsible with the bankroll. You could have a few great days, but if you start overreaching, and you have a bad day, you could kind of lose it all quick. So, we're pretty successful here. You gotta manage that bankroll smart. And if you're not doing a guns round robin thing that he's talked about before, you should definitely do that. It definitely helps when you hit at least 3 out of 5. You definitely guarantees you're gonna make some good money. So that's my tip for the day.
Well, there you have it. Chat, I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Stay here. It'll bring you to the next stream, and I will be revisiting every game, a little bit more news, talking about the slate from a little bit more of a DraftKings FanDuel point of view, but we're keeping PrizePicks on the brain. I appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up, but if I don't see you in the next one, twitter.com/Gundacker. I might get to 3K followers today. Maybe we'll do a celebration, giveaway, something like that. But yeah, good luck. God bless. Go win some money.